smash and grab. These are videos of jewellers being robbed across London in January and February in 2026. But this is the strange part. There weren't any reported robberies of jewellers over the same time period last year. 0. This data is from Safer Gems, a group that tracks jewellery crime across the UK. So, what's changed? And what are thieves actually targeting? From BBC News, I'm Lily May. Here's what we know. Footage of these smash and grab type robberies have been doing the rounds on social media, with the highest proportion taking place in London. You've probably seen them. Incidents in broad daylight where groups force their way into jewellery shops, often wielding sledgehammers or other weapons and escaping with high-value items. It feels like this kind of crime has exploded, but we're interested to know if there is any data to back it up. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to speak with 3 people who will hopefully have some answers. A jewellery security expert, a fellow journalist, and someone who sells vaults. Stick with me, let's see where this goes. First up, Sarah Staff. She's the manager of Safer Gems, but she's also had a 30-year career with the Metropolitan Police. She's a former head of the Flying Squad, an elite team of covert officers who specialise in armed surveillance and ambush.
If we compare the figures from last year, in 2025, there were 22 robberies, 6 of those were armed, and just over £500,000 in precious metals and watches were stolen. If we compare up until a couple of days ago, within 2026, we've had 18 robberies, smash and grabs, 10 of those were armed, and £3.2 million were stolen. And the detail of that, 7 of those offences were in London. So in 2025, we had none in January and February, and we had 16 this year. Now, why do we think those are happening? Why are we seeing that increase? I would say one of the reasons will be the increase in the value of precious metals, in particular gold. The price prior to the Middle Eastern War, the price of gold for an ounce was over £4,000, so it's a very attractive, lucrative commodity for criminal gangs to steal.
Okay, so while the jewellery store robberies were on the rise during that period, so was the price of gold.
I shine, you shine, we shine, so bright, just like gold.
There was gold for all.
We're obsessed. But what actually is gold? Quick history lesson. Gold comes from hard rocks like quartz or greenstone. China, Russia, and Australia are the world's top producers. It's been a precious commodity for thousands of years, and its use has changed the world. It drove exploration, built empires, sparked trade routes, and shaped entire economies.
The simplest way to think about the price of gold is supply and demand. When you have a lot of gold and it's not in demand, the price goes down. When you have a scarcity of gold and demand is high, the price goes up.
William works for the BBC's World Service across radio and podcasts. He's also presented the Marketplace Morning Report, a live daily programme exploring global money and work. So he knows a thing or two about the gold market.
Over the past year, gold has been hitting record high after record high, and this is predominantly due to uncertainty in the world, to geopolitical chaos. In late January of this year, gold spiked to above $5,000 an ounce, and that was up 80% from a year ago. And that comes down to geopolitical uncertainty. If we rewind to April of 2025, President Trump in the United States, he introduced what he called Liberation Day tariffs.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. I'm waiting for a long time.
He thought that the United States was getting an unfair deal in global trade, so he started introducing tariffs on goods from foreign countries. The sudden increase in the price of goods, that had huge impacts for countries all over the world. Suddenly their money, their economy was spiraling, and as such, gold went up in value. Why? Because gold is a safe haven. During periods of chaos, periods of uncertainty, people want something stable. And for millennia, gold has been considered very stable. It has an intrinsic value, and it's not attached to policy, to government policy. There are several factors that make gold attractive to thieves. The first is high value in small quantities. It's perhaps easier to walk away with a gold watch worth 20,000 pounds than it is to walk out with 20,000 pounds, right? How do you even carry money? A second factor is that a lot of businesses now are going contactless. They don't want to take cash because they don't want to be robbed. And so cash may not even be on hand in a lot of these places, but they are items like jewelry. The gold market is so diffuse. You can go to back alley dealers, you can go to pawn shops, you can go to reliable stores on the high street, you can go to high-end websites that trade gold. There's so many different avenues. And I think when you have so many options, gold becomes less traceable in a way. A bank transfer of cash would be very traceable. Authorities could see that. But gold can kind of disappear into the atmosphere.
People have always stolen things. That's not new. Take the Brink's-Mat robbery, one of the most well-known heists in UK history. In 1983, 6 robbers broke into Brink's-Mat's warehouse near Heathrow. They were expecting to find a few million in cash and instead discovered £26 million worth of gold bars. Which makes me wonder, if you're the kind of person who has a gold bar, or 2, where do you keep them safe?
So we're a bit like the Fort Knox of Mayfair.
Okay, this is Sean Hoey, the managing director of a company that provides private, high-security vaults for some of the most valuable items that you can imagine. Kind of like Gringotts. Obviously, this is a commercial enterprise and he's making money, but he's an industry professional, so I wanted to understand if he was noticing anything out of the ordinary. Do you have a statistic on how many people recently have asked for these private vaults and they've said they're in demand?
It's gone up by 120% so far this year, and obviously with the demand for gold and silver, and obviously people storing their items here with us at IBV, we're having to increase the amount of safes that we have on site. So we're putting in an extra 400 safes in the next few months.
What do you think that the current surge in demand for these vaults reveals about, I guess, people's attitudes towards security and how it's changing?
Well, you see, a lot of our clients are younger generations, so they're more conscious about security than the older generations. If I think back to my parents, my grandparents, they wouldn't have had a safety deposit box.
Do you think that there is a correlation then between seeing these smash and grab videos online and I guess that being more accessible and then the younger generation thinking, this is happening all the time, I need to take action? Do you think there is a correlation between these videos circulating and vaults?
Definitely. If you're on social media, you see it all the time. I mean, I'm on Instagram and I just see all the time these watch snatches and then people snatching mobile phones. Obviously, there's been boutiques done in London recently. So yeah, anyone who's on social media or watches the news is going to know about this.
I might not need a vault myself, but Sean's point does indicate that the videos of robbery circulating online are making people more conscious that their valuables are, well, valuable. And remember what Sarah Starr from Safer Gens told us. Their data showed that no jewellers lost money in robberies in January or February last year. But this year, losses in the same period totaled 2.2 million. That spike also happened just as the price of gold shot up. It suggests the two things could be connected, though to know for certain, you'd probably have to ask a criminal.